Women in Print Alliance is dedicated to connecting, empowering, and advancing women in the print industry. As part of Printing United Alliance, we're fostering a more inclusive future through advocacy, education, and networking opportunities that connect women across the entire industry. Join us as an individual to grow your career, expand your network, and access exclusive resources, or enroll your entire organization to show your commitment to supporting women in print. Become a member today at womeninprintalliance.org and help us shape the future of print.
Welcome to Her Imprint, part of the Impressions Exchange. I'm Denise Gustafson, your host. This podcast celebrates the remarkable women who are transforming the printing industry. We'll explore their journeys, from challenges to triumphs, and share the stories that leave a lasting imprint. Today I have with me Carly Crow. She's president with TH Brands. So Carly, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. To get us started, can you give us a little bit of history or detail about TH Brands?
TH Brands is an organization that helps bring brands to life. I like to think about it that way because we offer tangible products such as promotional products, custom apparel, recognition items. And ultimately, we're not just printing, we're really focused on creating branded experiences.
So like you said, really bringing those brands to life in one way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
So how did you get started in printing? I know for most people, it's not usually they wake up one morning and say, I want to be in printing. What was your journey to get where you are today?
I started out in marketing, actually, in specifically media placement. And it evolved into touching some elements of print through that. And I found that I really liked the printed tangible items. It was very satisfying when customers get what we sell and they are able to hold it in their hands, wear it, share it. So it just evolved from marketing.
You went to marketing. So I'm guessing you have a degree in marketing. Is that where you started back in college or?
I actually have a degree in professional writing, but started with one advertising agency out in Colorado for a couple years, came back to West Michigan, where I still am, and started with RCP Marketing, which at the time was RC Production, and then launched a printing company, trying to make a long story short here,
Oh, good.
which was originally the Gear Group with the partner, Shan Bongener. And we were a small promotional products and corporate apparel company who then in turn acquired a legacy business in the area, which was at the time Trophy House, now known as TH Brand.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there.
That's okay. It's always interesting to see where people come from, honestly, and to see what brought them to where they are today, because that shapes a lot of what you do now, I'm guessing,
Absolutely.
and some of the thoughts behind that. And I mean, over that course, you've been through so many different, in some ways, iterations. So are there certain things that make you more proud to be part of the industry than others?
I would say that the lens into which I view the printing industry comes from that background in marketing. When you understand branding and the importance of that, and you can bring that through and understand things like not skewing a logo and brand colors and the integrity of a brand and all those things coming into the printing industry, specifically with custom apparel and promotional products, that can be a point of difference for us because not everybody has that background and understands those things. So they can slip up a little bit and make some mistakes where we came in with some of that knowledge and integrity with that perspective. So it definitely shapes the way we look at things and our level of standard for quality when it comes to color and just clarity in printing.
And honestly, having that knowledge is such an advantage for you because you can be so much more of a partner to the customers that you're working with, to your clients, because you understand the print side of things. You understand the importance of color and how color needs to be consistent, and then what it takes to make sure that you're hitting the right colors. Because for
Yes,
brands, that's everything.
it is everything. Absolutely.
Yeah, the last thing you want, Coke Red is Coke Red. They're not going to take something that's more magenta or something that's more orange. They want their color because that's what they're identified with. It's integral to their identity.
Absolutely, it is.
Now, the print industry, as you know and have observed, tends to lean a little bit more toward the male side of things. But how has that impacted you? You're a president with TH Brands, you're within the industry. How important is it for you to see or to have women in roles in leadership in the C suite within an industry that is predominantly men?
I think it's very important. There's so many opportunities for women in the industry and so many new opportunities with some of the kind of legacy owners and leadership teams retiring and bringing in new strategic and creative ideas and a fresh perspective on things has been so refreshing in the industry. I can speak obviously specifically to TH Brands and what that has done to reinvent us. But I've also seen it in the industry with groups that we're a part of and the connections that we've made. In 2018, when we acquired what was Trophy House, now TH Brand, we were at some trade shows specific to the industry. And walking in, even then, we were one of few women. And at those same shows that we're attending less than 10 years later, there are now women leadership teams that are rising up and have created what they call at this specific event, Women in the Lead. And we come together during that show and spend time as women together, connecting and talking about things that matter to us in that space. And it's so refreshing to see that growth come so far. And I can now go there and feel like I don't stand out as different.
How hard is it to stand out as different?
Guess it depends on your personality type.
True. I would agree
You
with
know,
that. Yeah.
if I think about back in my marketing days when I was working in some male dominated industries, I could have very well just been ignored or overlooked if I didn't get with the cliche of being comfortable with being uncomfortable because I had to put myself out there and I had to get what I needed from those folks. And if I were to just come in and be maybe on the meek or mild end of things and not just make my presence known and get what I needed to get my job done, they would have let me.
Mm.
And I had to learn how to not do that. Come a long way.
The industry, as you said, has come a long way too.
Yes, very much.
How can we continue that forward momentum?
I would say the biggest word that comes to mind with that is connections. Coming into the industry, utilizing the resources that are there, such as even like the Printing United Alliance, that group making opportunities to build connection in the industry and support each other in that is going to help us get farther fast because we're doing it together. Also, at TH Brand specifically, we try to create space for our employees. I say to my employees, hey, if you're going to come to my office with a problem, also come with a solution. And when they walk in and do that, you can see who the thought leaders are. And we try to reward that. And therefore, we have people that have moved up internally because we see how solutions focused they are. And that has put a lot of our management roles as women.
Mhm. Are there specific qualities or specific things that really lend themselves to having women in those positions?
Relationship building is huge in our industry. We don't want to be order takers. We don't want to catch, we want to pitch ideas. And there are so many products and services that we offer that need strategy, they need creative, strategic ideas, and they need thought leaders. And a lot of those qualities we find in the women specifically in our business. I'm not saying that that's the only way to grow because we definitely have male salespeople who do what they do and they do it very well and they hustle. But the strategic end of thing, from what I've seen, tends to be a more female dominated space.
Yeah, definitely. But then at the same time, we have women facing unique challenges. Even though they have unique strengths in what they do, there's unique challenges to women, especially women that are new in the industry. They have the ageism part of it too, that kind of compounds everything. How can we not make a softer landing, but how can we make it better or easier for them to be comfortable in what is a manufacturing environment?
Supporting each other, number one. We have to be able to allow younger women to see themselves in the space. I think that if you were to ask, I'm trying to think of the women that I connect with in the industry, and if you were to ask a lot of them, did you intend to end up here? They might not have said yeah. So by us supporting each other and telling those stories and doing things like this podcast here, there might be opportunity for younger women to identify with some of the things that maybe even I'm saying today that help them see themselves in that space.
I agree. And honestly, that's one of the missions of this is to help people see themselves. Because I still remember years ago seeing a commercial for the Olympics. It was a young girl, a child that's watching the Olympics, watching the track and field, and she is just entranced by it. And she could see herself there because it was a woman that was on screen and she's a little girl. She could see herself being in the Olympics. And of course, the wonderfulness of television in that commercial, it went to that she was then competing 20 years later in the Olympics in that same sport that she was watching. But she could picture herself there because that really helped. And I think that's a huge part of the women's groups that we have within the industry. You said Women Who Lead, we have the Women in Print Alliance, and all of the other groups that we have to give women that voice, to give them that community in a place where traditionally has been so different for them and a much harder place for them to work and live.
Absolutely. To have to envision yourself getting there, you have to see yourself there. And I hope that if there's one thing that I can do, it's to help other people truly do what makes them happy. But even just understanding that print is an option and the industry is an option. When I've been in a room with other women in the industry, and that space offers opportunity for everyone there to speak a little bit more freely. Some of the things that I've heard women say have been surprising. And I mean that on both ends of the spectrum. There's been conversation about how to be seen as a woman in a room full of men, all the way to other women who don't have any issue. It's just who they are and what they do. And I think both of those women in the conversations truly inspire each other. So being able to build that community and have those spaces for women to come together in the industry is very important. But how do we do that when we're not there? How do we create that space when we're not there? And how do we get our experiences in front of other people to maybe inspire them?
So, in terms of the connections and the community that is so important to you, how would you say that has motivated you to continue to grow in your career? What is it that really continues to energize you as well? Is it community? Is it technology? Is it a mix of both?
Well, I think there's a couple things there. First, there are certain women in the circles that I run in that I view as mentors. Don't know if they see it that way, but I do. I look up to them. I am inspired by what they do in the industry. I love connecting with them at some of these shows and just hearing about what they've done over the last 6 months. And those conversations are freeing to me and also motivating. Some of it's validating also. You
I can
kind of feel
imagine.
like you're going down the right path or you have something to connect on. What excites me the most in the industry on a daily basis is that our customers get excited about what we do and sell. People love to get printed products. And if you want to be in an industry where what you do brings joy, I will tell you that getting a box of uniforms to a child sports team or a box of new shirts to a corporation team, they are just ecstatic about what we do. Promotional product giveaways. People love to receive this stuff. They love to play with it, hold it, touch it, feel it, again, wear it, share it. But overall in the industry, what I'm most excited about is technology. As I mentioned, we acquired a legacy business. And when we acquired the company, it was by far outdated. Processes were antiquated. Everything was just, frankly, old. We have put so much work into moving forward with things, and what's coming next is always exciting. We don't stay stagnant by any means. We are constantly growing and changing. And when it comes to how we're using AI in the company, the new machines that we're getting to produce new and better and brighter prints, the new technology that is behind the scenes, that is software that we use or just supporting our e-commerce efforts, that all is so exciting to me. It definitely shakes up our team. It gets people excited, maybe sometimes a little nervous, but boy, the industry is just alive with technology.
And like you said, it gets people nervous because change is hard.
Yeah.
So bringing in new technology, whatever it is, it's an adjustment. Things have to change. Things have to move. Physically have to probably remove old equipment from the shop floor. It's always interesting to see how people embrace the technology that's coming, and it is so different from what it was years ago.
It is. I think one thing we've done well as a company is our team expects change. They know things are always going to change. And it's even a running joke around the office at times. There's a few that, rattles them a little, and are you ready for what's coming next? Like, just always razzing them a little because they know not to get too comfortable.
Which is good.
It is good.
Now, I guess a question too, in terms of your workforce that you have, is it a mix? Is it older, younger? That probably has an impact on how well that they can adapt to change as well.
100%. We have employees that are new. We have employees that have been with us 34 years. We have a mix of employees that came from our original Gear Group company. And then we have legacy employees who had been with TH for years and years. And the mix of these folks, I will tell you, we have the best team ever. We truly have the best team ever. And I'm so proud to say that. I couldn't be prouder of what we output. And I couldn't be prouder of how, and I hope that they all know every single success that goes out of that building is because of all of them. When we get a company compliment on an order or just how we do business with them, we try to share that company wide because every single employee who touched that order put their touch on that and they contributed to the success of that. But as far as change goes, I would say some of it's more aggressive in certain departments than it is in others.
Okay, fair.
Screen printing is fairly antiquated in itself, right? Like
It is indeed.
There's still some staples in that aren't changing. How you're getting the ink on that shirt. But yeah, the machines can get faster and do things a little better and a little more accurate. And we definitely embrace some of that. Kurt, who's been in our screen print department for 34 years, his expertise is still so valued because he understands the foundation of it and he grew up in the industry and he's an expert, just like many of our employees are.
Yeah. How are you saving that tribal knowledge? Because you have, Kurt, 34 years in the industry, huge knowledge base, because that's something that we're facing across the board. There's what's called like the silver tsunami. It's coming across the industry as a whole with people retiring, people leaving to go and enjoy their grandkids. But as they leave, that knowledge in a lot of cases leaves with them.
We definitely have on our team specifically a layered employee base, meaning, yeah, we have the 34 years, but we also have the 5, 10 years and then the newer folks. And we definitely have our team One thing we've been working on as of lately is cross training in departments.
Mm.
And we have an engraving department, for example, and Jake, who is in there, he can also come over and help screen, that kind of thing. And through our operations manager, we try to pull people and put them where they need to be because in the industry, it is common where we have the ebb and flow, right?
Yes,
So
we
one
do.
department may be busier than another. And so leveraging that knowledge across all departments has been really helpful for us. And hopefully along the way, it's addressing exactly what you're mentioning here, which is increasing knowledge across our employee base from end to end.
Yeah, I know a number of companies have done the cross training. How can they make those employees more valuable to the team as a whole? So that way it's not also on just one department during a busy period.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned something also earlier about success and that the success of the business is really dependent on everyone because everybody touches the pieces that are going through the shop. How do you define success for the company, for yourself? And I'm guessing that's probably also changed over the years.
Oh, 100%. And I think back to the gear group days, success was learning the industry in and out deeper and just acquiring a new customer here and there because we were small at the time. In my leadership role, I obviously am focused on the growth of the company, but I also, through that, focus on the growth of the individuals in our company because that contributes to the big picture. So when we have success, what does that look like? It looks like a customer referring us to somebody else. It looks like a customer complimenting us. It looks like us getting pictures of people wearing something that we made and sharing that with the team. But also, we annually come up with initiatives for what we're going to focus on and do that year. And when we set those goals and we meet those goals, that is also success. There's the small wins along the way that motivate and energize our team. And then there's the big wins year over year where we have increased sales goals and we are being innovative with how we're approaching business and we're not staying stagnant. So we're not just selling with the outside sales team. We also have online storefronts. We also have e-commerce. We also have our retail floor. So we're focused on day-to-day success as well as big picture success.
I think you need to, honestly, because sometimes the bigger successes take longer to get to. So that's harder. You feel like you're climbing up the hill. But those smaller, those daily successes help to bolster so that way you can get to whatever that next stepping stone is.
Yes.
And yeah, and again, technology is playing a huge role in that, like you said, with the storefronts and all of the software and the AI part of it too, how that all plays a role in making sure that you are successful and that you can meet those goals and those KPIs that you have.
And for us with AI, it's been such a valuable tool on the sales side of things, just with ideas and building kind of a habit of using it to be more efficient. And then also on the graphic side of things, we value our people so very much, and you can never replace what a human can do, in my opinion. But when you have a resource such as AI where you can get ideas, we have a graphics department. So not just a pre-press or setup department, we actually have graphics team and they build fresh and unique ideas and they also handle pre-press. But when we can increase efficiencies in that department and also have them use these tools and get comfortable with them and move things along, it's another cliche, but a win-win for all involved.
But I'm sure for a lot of them, as soon as AI was mentioned, it was probably really scary.
Yeah, and I think it still is because nobody really knows what that means, right? We've defined that at our company. This year is the year of what are we going to do with it? So we're just going to try everything until we find a few things that work for us and stick. So we're playing around with some things on the graphic side of things, on the sales and organization spreadsheet stuff that you can get done in AI is amazing. But you have to read the disclaimers of, hey, AI can make mistakes. So you always are going to need humans to double check that and lead the thought.
Yeah, the hallucinations can be fun
Yeah.
and scary at the same time if nobody is checking it.
Yes.
But I know
100%.
but I know especially, like, in the graphics side, when they start talking about all the imagery that they can do, a lot of the graphics people are like, "Is that gonna be my job? Is my job going away because of this?" And that can make I know in some cases, it can make people very resistant because they don't want to approach it, but by, like you said, getting to know what it can be done, because you can be more efficient. It can give you a range of tools that you didn't have at your disposal before, but you have to try them too, which is sometimes the harder part.
It is the harder part because we all get so used to and caught up in just tasks that taking a step back to actually implement something new into your daily workflow can be hard to do. But where I'm pressuring my team is to go, hey, I expect you to be more efficient with this. We can do more now in a day. And so it benefits us to embrace it because the quicker we can get things done, the more we can get through in a month and production can get through in a month and the more we can invoice in a month. For me and for our team, that's where I want them to really embrace it. And we're all at different stages, to be quite honest. Every employee isn't all in with it. It's a process. It's been a process, but we're all definitely playing at this point.
Which is good. It's better than avoiding it like the plague, honestly.
100%. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. Honestly, you look at how the world of AI even a year ago is so different than what it is today and how it's going to be 6 months from now.
Yes, and the strong will survive and the rest
Mhm.
will dissipate, and we'll come out of this with some really great new efficient ways to do things and new efficient tools to use. To say that it doesn't make me nervous either, I wouldn't be telling you the truth. It does because there's still so much unknown, but what I've seen so far and what I use in my daily life, there's been some really great efficient processes I've changed that I'm in.
Yeah. And you're willing to see what it will do. But again, there's still that human component, which is so essential to all of it.
Yes. And when I think about that, I think about my kids, right? Like the next generation coming up and what are my son and daughter going to do and how are they going to use it? I'm asking them like at school, what are your teachers saying? What's going on here and there? And it's a win when they come back to me and say something like, I still have to think about it, mom. I still have to. And that's what it comes down to. Humans are the only ones with the original thought.
And they're digital natives. So having them say that too is refreshing. That no,
Yeah.
we can't just rely on the computer. We're not going to go down into some kind of 2001 HAL computer, so we don't have to worry about that. But the thought's always back there. What if machines take over the world?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Don't ask the internet that question. You don't want to watch what they'll show you.
So, as we're wrapping up, one of my favorite questions is knowing what you know now. So, your history in the printing industry, your journey to where you got through to today. If you were just starting out today in the industry, what advice would you give yourself?
I would tell myself to remember that I am enough. I am good at what I do. I am contributing to growth and change in the industry and my own future. I think those positive affirmations would have been really important for me back then. I did question some things and I didn't need to.
It's hard when you're in the moment, though.
Yes, it is. It is. And it takes positive self talk and confirmation. You have to trust yourself. And for me anyway, until I saw that I could really do it, that's how I built trust within myself and then got stronger. And I would have been okay to trust myself before that, but I needed the proof. That's
Yeah, I think we're our own worst critics in some cases, so it's hard to sometimes convince ourselves that, yes, we are enough. Yes, we know what we're doing. Especially women, I think it's even harder for us as opposed to men were like, "Yeah, we'll just do it." It's a different mindset, to say the least.
I agree. Yes. And that's why supporting each other and hearing that from others as well is also very validating and progressive.
And then that's where the community comes in too, because you realize you're not alone in those feelings and those thoughts, that this is something that we're all struggling with and dealing with.
100%. Yeah.
Carly, thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. And thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you for joining us on this journey to celebrate and amplify the voices of women in the printing industry. If you have a story to share or know someone whose journey deserves to be highlighted, we'd love to hear from you. Together, let's continue inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders. Until next time, keep leaving your imprint. This is Her Imprint. See you soon.